is that, 2009 when Take 3 for the Sea started, I was 29 years old, and so in many ways there was plenty of years before that where it was kind of like half of my body and my heart was saying, this is great, like keep living, keep building who you are as an individual, because it's only going to pay dividends when it's time. Yeah. The other half was saying like, gee, is my thing really going to come? And I always had this fallback that I'd go and do a Bachelor of Education and become a teacher, which I probably could have easily have done. But yeah, lo and behold, Take 3 for the Sea, I found it and it found me. I was feeling a lot of desire to work on this problem of pollution because I'd just seen so much of it through travels.
Yeah, especially we've seen in Bali.
Yeah, Indonesia, India, all around Southeast Asia. They were the really main places where I encountered it. But yeah, so I was back on the east coast of Australia doing a lovely old road trip from Newcastle to Byron, camped out near Crescent Head, and had an inspiring encounter with Dave Rastovich So 2009, he was doing some activism around the documentary The Cove, which looked at the slaughter of dolphins in Taiji in Japan. Wow. And so he was doing a sort of Hobie Cat sort of kayak sailing voyage from Byron Bay to Bondi to sort of raise awareness about what was happening there, show the documentary in communities and try and bring fellow surfers on the journey with him.
Oh man, this is just awesome. There's so many epic people who we see around the bay all the time who have an interest in these issues, all here right now just to say, see ya, have a good trip. We've already got whales we're spotting out to sea right here off the Cape, and the wind's already puffing up from the perfect direction. So basically wanting to highlight the issue of whaling and what we can do about it, the surfing community can do about it, Australian people, coastal people. If anyone here has their own networks and ways to put that pressure on the government, please go forth with that and spread that message, because right now the only ship going to Antarctica is Sea Shepherd, and this whole trip is about escorting these whales down the coast. And then when we get to Sydney, November 5th, we're going to join with Steve Irwin and the Sea Shepherd crew in launching their campaign to go down and defend these same whales that are passing our coast right now.
Amazing. So I didn't know he was even doing it. Obviously Dave Rastovich at that time was probably one of my favourite surfers. He's just the way he embodied that freedom, immense skill, but also this passion for the environment.
Watching clips of him in high school, Rasta.
Yeah, incredible. So anyway, he rocked up, and it was obviously supported by Billabong and all these other partners, and they were making a documentary. So there was all this sort of fanfare that sort of swept over the campground, and yeah, we just went and said hello and met the crew and ended up sitting around the campfire that night. There were some really incredible individuals from conservation, from creatives and music to incredible professional surfers. And I just sort of was there, and by the end of that, everyone camped out that night. The next day, we all went for a surf together, and then they went off on the rest of their voyage. And I was like, what's stopping me from standing for something like Dave's standing for? Like, he's just a guy. Sure, he's a brilliant surfer, but he's just someone. And so when that tour came down to my my home sort of country on the Central Coast to Avoca Beach Cinema, I said, look, I want to get up on the stage and say something. Wow. So I got up on the stage and I said, I got inspired by Dave and the crew, by what they're doing. I care deeply about keeping our beaches free from plastic because it's a big problem that's growing. Who will join me? And I don't know, I mean, obviously everyone was like, yeah, well done, rad, Tim. It wasn't like the floodgates open and everyone was saying, yeah, let's go and do it. But thankfully someone in the audience was next door neighbours with Mandy. And Mandy and Roberta are the other two co-founders of Take 3. And so I was introduced to them immediately. Within a week, I was having a cup of tea with Mandy and Roberta, and they shared this idea of Take 3, a clean beach initiative. So they'd essentially distilled down the problem themselves and said, well, a great solution would be if everyone just picked up 3 pieces of plastic every time they left the beach. And I was like, there we go. There's an idea that's already formed.
Okay, so that's why the 3.
That's why the 3.